question per each group. Only one member has to ask the question. You still get credit, but make sure your cameras are on. Thank you so much. All right. So let me go here. I did a little introduction. Again, good afternoon, everyone. We have a special guest today, and I've been talking about him a lot. And our guest speaker is Varkey George, and he's just someone with many trades and just a heart for social entrepreneurship, from building rural schools during apartheid to lecturing globally on global citizenship. Varkey has spent more than 4 decades advancing international education, community, and engagement. He's a leading practitioner of social entrepreneurship, and the founder of the Ocean uh, South Africa, South Africa. And his work focuses on creating meaningful impact through education, service, and global partnerships. This is going to be a real treat. In this session, we're just going to share. He's going to share some things, and we just basically on global citizenship, community-centered service, and building partnerships across Africa and beyond. And so we could just take a moment just to welcome Varkey. Can you light some thumbs up, the yellow thumbs up in the chat, send them out there, or say welcome in the chat or whatever. The virtual, can I see some virtual thumbs or claps? Is that what it's called? The virtual hand claps. Let me see some virtual hand claps. Yes. And then also yes, thank you so much for those. Yes, yes, let's welcome him to, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, everybody. All right, Varkey, we're giving you a welcome. Welcome to BT again. I know you've been here before, but now you're here with us online. So we're so happy to have you.
Can I start? Can
Yes,
I?
we
Yeah,
love.
yeah. Okay, good evening. It's 8:30 p.m. in South Africa. I'm in a city called Cape Town, and it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world, ranked most beautiful for 3 years in a row. So you are welcome to Cape Town. It's really beautiful. Anyway, so that's not the point we are talking about today. I have been to VT. I have been to your business school. I have done a guest lecture at the business school the year before last, and for you, I've today worn the VT T-shirt as well. So I'm one of you. Uh, okay, social entrepreneurship, guys. This is what many moons ago I had hair and I was as young as you, right? And then I was looking for meaning of life. Why the hell are we live where we brought to this earth? Is it to fight? Is it to be cynical? Is it to be angry, bitter, jealous, envious? And much later, at a very young age, I realized that I was getting a lot of joy, happiness by doing something beyond myself. And luckily, fortunately for me, I arrived in South Africa as a teacher when I was 24 years old, and there was no school in that village. We were teaching under trees at that time, and I decided to build a school. And there it started. Every step of the way, the more you give, the more you find joy, and the more you benefit. Because you don't look for money. Money comes looking for you, but it takes time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of giving. And this is my experience with social entrepreneurship. I'm trying to motivate you to become social entrepreneurs because at the business school, they teach you how to maximize profit. They teach you how to draw up a business plan, how to market, how to scale up, etc. But if the intention is to bring about a social benefit, ameliorate some social problem, I think the two will go together. Let me just explain how it all started, perhaps how it started. I'm going to share my screen for a moment and then I will. Oh, sharing is not turned on. Uh, Prof, would you let me? Let me try again. Share. No, you still, I need to send you a request.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Here we go. Just give me a minute. Share. Share. And Virginia Tech. Share. Okay. My name is Varkey George, and I have prepared a very short lecture for you. It's not going to be a boring lecture, hopefully. Let me see what it does. So you are sharing screen. Okay, so we start, human beings in the last 400 years, we created a lot of stories. And one of the stories we created is that socialism will solve all of our problems. Okay? And everything owned by the community. And then somebody came up with communism, said everything owned by the state. That is how human beings need to share the resources of the world. That collapsed too. And then came the fascist times. Um, People not allowed to disagree, extremely right wing. And then came Nazism. The one person will determine what is best for the country or for the people. And then came liberal democracy, and everything else collapsed. Everything else collapsed, and we landed with only no competition for liberal democracy. We have individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. However, what has happened in recent times is we have moved because it has got no competition, because there is no workers' rights have been taken away. There is no um, um, counterbalance. There's nothing to counterbalance extreme capitalism. Neoliberalism took a turn, and it became a democracy that tilts toward elitism. And that is why you see that all over the world, the gap between the rich and the poor is growing and growing and growing. And so there is no solution to this. At the moment, I don't see any solution because we can't go back to socialism. We can't go back to communism. I don't think the world is ready for that. And we can't go back to having a king and a kingdom because we have tried that and we have created, you know, we had Alexander the Great. We had so many of these dynasties and conquerors that they didn't last for long and there was no solution. It didn't satisfy human needs. Now, what do we, where do we go? So I have in sitting in my garden and mulling over how this could have come to be. Man is just down from the trees, standing on two legs, and we are small bands of hunter-gatherers in the jungle. Okay, small bands. And the good in hunting gets the meat. The meat is brought home, and I would trade the meat with a neighbor who makes a better spear so that I can hunt better. Commerce starts, trading starts. And then there's a guy next door who doesn't have any legs and he can't hunt, he's going to die. So I will share some of my meat with him. There starts charity. Okay. And so charity begins. Uh, make sense? Makes sense. I hope it does. And then we had religion, organized religion, and Christianity said, anyone who does not to the least of your brother, this you do unto me. So share. Buddhism said, give up all your earthly belongings. And Islam said, eat from their fruits and give due alms to the have-nots. So I'm going to stop that sharing for the moment and then come back to you and ask you to give it a thought. In human beings, we have two kinds, we have two driving forces. One is we want to be selfish and we want to accumulate wealth. At the same time, we want to be altruistic, we want to help because we know that we get joy from helping. That's why when we see somebody suffering, we feel pity. Okay, so there's these two pressures that builds up in a human being. What society has done is they created two silos. One is for the one who's hunting, the for profit, and the one who feels empathy, they created the non profit. So you have two silos. The one and these two have got their advantages and disadvantages because the profit making corporate is a gunning for money. They're straightforward and they want to make money. But the people who work in the for profit, they want to do charity as well. They would like to feel the joy that the one who work in a charity also receives. And then you have the non-profit organizations that cannot run a business. So the non-profit is always dependent on donor funding. So you see, when you bridge the gap between these two silos, that's what we call the social entrepreneur. You have the empathy and the drive to help others. At the same time, you want to keep that activity financially sustainable. And that builds a social entrepreneur. So, you young people with all the training that you receive in running organizations, if some of you think about going into the non-profit world and wanting to do somehow solve a problem in society, I would say that you use all your skills and understand that it can be done. You can be an entrepreneur in the social sector. And there are many, many examples of people who have sorted it. Well, I had a project where I wanted to create the most affordable and the most environmentally friendly sanitary pad for women. And I took this idea, drew up the plan. For 5 years, I was working on it. I went to Virginia Tech. You have a polymer department. I met the professors. I gave them the idea, and they said, yes, we are willing to work with you. So we are on a plan. So you need to have passion for something like that to solve a social problem. Okay. So I would like to also point out that when you become a social entrepreneur, you have a non-profit and you want to solve a social problem, but you don't have the money. Usually, so I'm not a rich man. Social entrepreneurs are never rich and never wealthy because they give up what they make, they give to society, and they do good stuff. However, don't try to be a Mother Teresa. You need an income stream for yourself. In the modern world, the world doesn't look kindly to a Mother Teresa. You will have to make your own money to do the good that you want to do. That's clear. So when you start a non-profit as a social enterprise, the non-profit is allowed to receive donations, but it is not allowed to trade or make a profit. Okay, so I'm going to give you an idea as to, or perhaps how to make money in a non-profit. So the initial capital, you need to find an angel investor who can give you the initial capital to start your project. So if you have this brilliant idea, I want to solve the problem of plastics that's lying around the world. And let's say you want to you find the technology to convert it to something else, but you don't have the money. So you go and keep talking about it to many people, and somebody will take it up as a great idea, and you will receive your seed capital. It needs a lot of research, and you need to prove that it can be done. Once your seed capital comes in, then bum off as much as you can from society. And I will explain how these things happen. So a non-profit has got, let's say a non-profit has got a project, and I want to show it to you by example as to how I have done one of my projects in Cape Town. Share again, and I go there and share, and I want to take you right to that project. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to solve the problem of very few African people, children, going to the universities in South Africa. If you know the history of South Africa, African people were not allowed good education for 300 to 400 years. They lived under apartheid. This is the first generation of kids trying to go to university. And I wanted to solve the problem. I wanted to send more African kids to university. So I drew up a business plan. I went from to all my friends. I kept talking about it, etc. And somebody took up the idea and said, "I will provide you with the seed capital to start. It's a worthwhile project." So he gives me the seed capital. That's what I call donor funding. You need to start with the donor funding here. And then I went to the principal of a school. Sorry, I went to the principal of a school nearby and said, "Will you give me your classrooms when you are not using them? And you can be one of the directors in my nonprofit." The school can, the principal, of course, you can be one of the directors. And yes, of course. And they can claim it as one of their projects, doing good for society. Everybody loves a nut doing something for society. So they gave me the school for free. And what we did then was we selected 50 kids in the first year and gave them free education. We employed the best teachers in maths and science and English and biology that we could find, and they provided the education. And 98% of our kids went to university that year. Okay? 98% went to university. It's a tough call to get to the university in South Africa. In 2 years' time, because of the quality, middle class parents approached us and said, "Can our kids also join?" And we said, "Yes, you can join, but you pay a fee, which is much less than market rate." So they started sending their kids and paying a fee. Currently, we have 200 kids who pay, and for every two kids who pay, we send one for free. So this is how, and it is fully financially sustainable. All payments to teachers and the expenses to bus in the kids from the townships, from the poor areas, it's all covered by the fees that we collect. So this is one example of how it can be done. Um, Social entrepreneurs are slightly, you can call them nutcases, because they think they know the future. They think they can solve any problem that society has. They jump before thinking. People say, "You're a dumb guy, you cannot solve this problem." And over again, social entrepreneurs have proved that they can find solutions to social problems that the for-profit sector is not interested in solving. Okay, so some of the terms that you need to keep in mind. One is you need seed capital. Then it is mission-related income. You saw the mission-related income is the income you derive from your mission. In this case, the education that I provide, the people are willing to pay. The ones who can afford to pay are willing to pay. And so that is mission-related income. And once you complete you are confident about mission-related income, you can then look at other options like we call the cash cows. So this company can invest in other for-profit organizations and derive income or interest or some sort of income that can be used also to cross-subsidize the ones who cannot afford to pay. So the words once again that you need to use, you need an angel investor, you need mission-related income, you can have cash cows, and you cross-subsidize the ones who cannot afford to pay. In effect, this is social entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, if Prof agrees, I would like to hear your project, and let's discuss from the things that you have heard. Perhaps you have got some idea as to how to identify a problem and keep it financially sustainable. Okay, over to you, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen.
So who wants to tell them? So I need one person from each group to just describe your project, your solution, and what you're thinking. So one person per group. Ryan, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. So Our project is using our social enterprise to help children with disabilities in Bangladesh receive an education through an AI app and help eliminate the negative stigma in Bangladesh that keeps them out of schools in the first place.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. And how are you going to entice those children to use your app?
And everybody in this group should be able to answer that. So let's hear somebody else from the group, Ryan's group.
So we would want to work with local organizations within Bangladesh to publicize the app so that the mothers can get access to it and since it's be from someone local that they feel more trustworthy of it.
Okay. Does the app have a curriculum, and have you matched it to the curriculum in Bangladesh? It's a very practical question because they must see the benefit.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're considering and making sure that the tone of voice is also like incongruent with their the way that they speak so that it's culturally relevant.
Thank you. No, I also, the question I asked is the content of within your app. Does it match the curriculum of the schools in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I think that's definitely we want it to match, but allow there to be accommodations like since the kids do have disabilities, like making it a little bit slowing it down a little bit so it's
Yeah,
easier
yeah.
to retain.
Okay. Are you trying to help them to do better at the school, at school?
Yeah, and we're trying to increase their access to the education and their ability to respond with it.
Sorry, Rebecca, I keep asking questions, but do you are these children at school at the moment, the ones you're targeting?
So right now, they're not getting into school. Since there's the stigma with autism in Bangladesh, the mothers kind of
I
keep them
see.
behind.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so we're trying to reduce the stigma and increase their access to education.
Now I understand because you did not mention Ryan did not mention the word autism. He said disadvantage to children to receive education through an AI app, and I didn't get the full story. This is why it's very important that when you pitch to somebody your idea, you need to be very precise as to what is your target, what is the social problem that you're solving. Must be extremely clear, one sentence, and then um, people understand what you're trying to do. Or maybe you approach an investor who wants to who you would like to invest in this, so that one of you can go to Bangladesh, look at study the problem, and then do something about it. Anyway, I'm glad that you shared it with me. Thank you, Ryan and Rebecca. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Han's group.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
So our group is focusing on the smallhold farmers problem in Ethiopia. So people there are suffering from geopolitical conflicts and the weather and the how to say the bad weather conditions for the smallhold farmers, and so their harvest could be struggling, and there is no something to really protect them from their harvesting of their crops and their agriculture. So our solution is to raise money by providing products into the U.S. market, and then to give a better product like the AI solution for the weather forecasting and the using like machine learning and deep learning, like the computer science methods to help them to better predict the weather and to give a like a highly accuracy and high precision agriculture developing methods. and that's our current state.
Okay, you would then create an app, is it, that they
It's
could
like
use,
it's like
like an app?
yeah, an app like forecasting app to focus and
Yeah.
inform them the weather condition and to guide and not only the weather but also to guide them to teach them how to grow the agriculture under the really tremendously bad weather condition.
Okay, got that. And you also mentioned that you want to import, you want to help them export their products into America.
Yeah, because Ethiopia is famous for their coffee beans, and we think that we can uh bring their products into the American market and to raise some revenue, and that's what we think about.
Okay, Prof. Vitaka, your business plans that the students write up for now is a theoretical exercise, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Well, we just wanted to know whether you wanted to take it to the end and go to Ethiopia and solve the problem. Come on, somebody needs to take it up there. I'm
Yeah.
going to do it.
Yeah.
But you start with the theory, of course. You start with the practice. The brain gets to understand this concept and sort this out bit by bit. Okay, I don't see any need for capital, and I don't see any need for a financially viable plan in these two projects. You see, you don't need to make it, like I said, a mission related income. You're trying to solve a problem and you need money to, you don't need that at this level, at the theoretical level. I think that both the projects, when you go to the next level, is when you really go to the ground and start the project. Then you think about the other money stuff that I spoke about.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Han. Yeah.
Jaden. Yeah. I'm putting it in the chat, the order, so you should be able to see your name and your group. I don't.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good. Yeah, so our group, we are focusing on school children in Indonesia who lack from clean access to drinking water. And so basically we're focusing more on rural communities out there that may lack the water infrastructure or may just suffer from any weather conditions such as flooding that may cause a shortage of either water or just a dirtiness of the water. And so our plan was for a U.S. enterprise was to actually start selling water bottles here in America that over half of the percentage of funds that we collect from here can get put back into our social problem for Indonesia.
Okay. That's fine. You have sorted out your money to solve the problem. You see, you're going to sell water in America, and part of the profit would go back to Indonesia to solve the water problem. But how are
Yeah.
you going to solve the water problem? What
Oh,
is the idea there?
so, sorry, I did not explain that. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're having a clean water monitoring system that pretty much gets put in the grounds at these local school communities. And through sensors, we would also develop an app that would alert users if the water is contaminated or not. And our users, we're trying to help the school children first and foremost, but we're putting that in the hands of either local health officials or school staff. The adults who would get these alerts from the app saying, hey, the water needs to be changed or is not safe for human drinking.
Okay, good. Jaden, that's a wonderful project that you're working on. I think it's necessary, and it's not only in Indonesia. If you can find a solution to that, it can go global. Okay. I'm just to on the side, we had a problem of we have a water. This is a water scarce country too, and I found a solution. We have a water bladder. A bladder is like a balloon. It's quite sturdy, and it can be folded and take where you want it to, and it can hold up to 20 to 50 to 100,000 liters of water. There are many kind of bladders, and we hook it up onto the roof and collect rainwater, and we store about 200,000 liters without algae or bacteria because it's black on the inside, white on the outside. And when the water comes out of the bladder, it goes through a filter. So there's drinking water for about, I think it's about 10,000 people in that village. So there are solutions out there. You can go and solve drinking water problems. Keep it in mind. Maybe one day you will become an entrepreneur. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. We move on.
Hi. Um, our project focuses on the addressing absence pregnancy in the Philippines, especially among the young girls who lack uh access to reliable health information. Many minors face cultural pressure, limited education, and restricted restricted access to the productive health resource, which increase their risks. So we've been looking at the teenager pregnancy in the Philippines and more work on it. Uh, the more we realize it's not something that we can address by one simple solution because it involves many uh, uh, aspects. So, from your experience, how can a student team approach a challenge like this in a way that is respectful, community centered, and actually useful for the people we want to serve?
Okay. Yeah, Shimai, that's also a good project that you're trying to solve. In many of these communities, and you mentioned Philippines.
Yeah.
Philippines is quite Catholic, I think, the belief system, the major belief system. Am I right? Or Buddhist? Is it? Anyway, it's a traditional society. So, uh, what I would suggest is if they do not have access to health information, you
Mm-hmm.
need to in your app that you're going to make or whatever you're going to make, or let's say a website or an app, you need to be very precise as to what health problem you're targeting, and you need to collate information about how that health challenge can be solved. For a young girl or a young boy, for example, they could go into their, if they have a particular problem, it should be easily accessible in their search. It cannot be general and it cannot be wide. It has to be, you have to target the challenge that the kids are faced with. And I think the best way to do it is to get a focus group in a school in the Philippines, and you have a group of children. What are your challenges? So that you understand what they are hoping that they can understand from a website or from somebody, exactly what they're looking for. Shimai, does that make
Uh,
sense? Maybe you
yeah.
won't solve, maybe you won't find the solution for, you can't give them solutions for everything. You can find out what exactly they are looking for from this focus group and use your energy to provide information regarding those aspects.
Uh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, yeah. Start with one or two or three. That's all. Don't try to solve everything. Health is very broad, like you said, many
Mm,
aspects. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We go to the next.
It's Gavin and
Oh, he just said, oh, sorry.
okay.
So for our problem is that in Tanzania there is like it's around I think it's like one teacher to 80 students. Um, and what we found is that there's not enough people that are, or there's not enough people that are qualified to teach these classes. So instead of like trying to figure out how to get more people qualified or even trying to get more teachers in a system, we've tried to figure out a way to make this system to where teachers can
it's like it would be like a study system for teachers to use for their students. So it would break everything down into groups, and it would allow them to uh, each week it would pair the people, or it would pair students up with students that scored higher than the previous week, and it would allow them to teach each other, kind of, to help the teacher a little bit more. And how we decided to fund that was through a United States, or through the United States and I guess other first world countries, by using like a study system. It would be like kind of how I guess most people now use like Chat GPT for studying and stuff like that. But it would be a different AI system that would be more geared towards actually studying and not just an open chat bot.
Yeah. Okay. Gavin, there has been this challenge has been the people have tried to solve this challenge in the past, and what some of them have done is create YouTube material. So you take the curriculum of that, but let's say you're working with grade 5, then you take the curriculum of grade 5 for English, and you go through each of in their textbook what is in each chapter, and then you prepare a shortened version for that chapter. You prepare a worksheet. You prepare another worksheet for them to practice, and then you have a small test at the end to make sure that they have studied it. So this is something that has worked beautifully in places where children don't have access to teachers, because it is a self-study mechanism, and the teachers can use it too. It makes it easier for the teacher, because to teach that topic, even physics or science, to teach that topic, they could use your website or your app or your YouTube video to teach that particular subject topic, and then have a worksheet, and then have a practice sheet, and then have a small test. So they are thorough with that topic. Good, 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 good. But repeat it for me, Gavin. You said you're going to make money out of something. How?
Yeah, so I think like a lot of the people that I talk to use like ChatGPT right now for like to study. Like if they need to be able to study on something, it's like you type it in and they can actually
Yeah,
teach you. But
yeah.
I think it's like making something that's, geared towards just studying. I'm actually doing a project in another class, and I had to take surveys for this. And so it was like I had people tell me that the easy, or it would be easier for them to spend $10 a month versus the 20 that ChatGPT, for it just to be about learning things. So it's like the
Okay,
entire purpose of an app is just to learn things.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Gavin. We move on.
Okay, hi, Professor. And our project wants to use an AI analysis and recommendation systems to help Hades people, especially the children from 0 to 12 age, to help them deal with the normal desires themselves. And we can give the necessary medical help for those situations are seriously urgent. But the biggest problem is that how can we get the trust from the local people to, at the very beginning of our project, to let them want to use our AI app, because our app is related to collect people's real information.
Good question. I'm going to try to help you there. Look, these are just brainstorming ideas, okay? And so my idea would be that I would find what kind of medical help children need, and then find the websites of famous legitimate doctors who have found solutions to this and who have it on the net, and connect their web addresses, web IDs into your app, so that if there's a problem with, for example, teeth, how do I keep my teeth healthy? Then you have the best dentist of the world who has published something. You give them the web ID, the website of that doctor, so that because you are not qualified to give them advice. You might get into trouble if you do that. So you channel them into the best direction, into the best person that can help them.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
All right, next. What group was that? Group number. Remy, what number was? Where are we at? I
I
know we
think
have
that was group 10, so we
10.
should be on
Okay.
group 11 next.
Okay, group 11 and then 7. I think 7 went.
Yeah.
7 went. So then we have
Group 3 after group 11.
yeah.
Hi, our solution is for the Indian people like living in rural area. They have limited access to healthcare. So our solution is to build like mm, it's kind of like an AI assistant for when they have uh some when they get some like condition, like they have some issue, they can use that app to help them to because they have limited access to healthcare, so the app can give them instruction about how recommend about what they do, like how confidence is the recommendation it gave to the users. So right now the problem is people in living in some rural area have limited access to smartphones. We are thinking giving like maybe every village like a small like a kind of equipment to help them when they want to get access to this tool.
Okay. Uh, your 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 dream is fantastic, but Alan, how are you going to fund this equipment to go into 20 villages? Let's say we start small, 10 villages.
Yeah, so actually our project in US is to build like a home used like an emergency kit for the family, and we also offer an AI feature for the US family. So it's like the revenue the profit we gain from the US we will use it to support the cost in India.
Fair
And
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough, Alan. We are not going to go into detail whether your app is marketable in the US, whether there's a market, people will buy your app, all that for later. But you've got the idea. That's enough for now, for your, I think, for your project. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Next, the last group, and then we're going to go into speed question round.
Hmm.
The last group, I think is Alan. Were you group 3 or 10? I'm kind of confused. I don't know what group we're on. Alan, what number was your group?
We're group 11.
Okay, so then where's group 3?
Yeah, hello, Mr. George.
Hi.
Our project is dedicated to addressing the severe educational inequality issues in the northern Brazil. So in these regions, the infrastructure is highly unstable, and schools are severely short of resources. Sometimes one teachers have to deal with 50 to 60 students, so vulnerable students are easily overlooked in crowded classrooms. Uh, and there are significant differences in basic needs such as textbooks, equipment, or internet access among different villages. So to solve this problem, we developed an AI software. It is not just a software, but an intelligent coordination systems. So it uses low-cost local data to accurately assess the deficiencies of the community, and for areas without the internet, it distributes physical learning packages and volunteer support. And for areas with basic networks, it provides lightweight AI tutoring. And to achieve the sustainable development of our project, so we offer advanced AI tutoring subscription services in to American high school students, and a portion of the revenue will be directly used to fund the digital infrastructure and offline resources needed by Brazilian children. Yeah.
Okay, so I have picked up two things that you want to do. You want to first collate information regarding the deficiencies in the school. That's one. And number two, you want that AI system to be able to, using the information that it has collected, to provide education. And but I don't understand, if you collect the information, who's going to look at this information and what is it going to be used for? Who's going to use this information that you have collated? Chenglin,
Uh,
did you understand my question? Do you want me to go slow?
yeah.
Okay, so you want to collect information using your AI tool. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who is going to look at this information? Or is the AI going to automatically provide things for the schools?
Uh,
Are you going to give this information to government, or the information that you have collected, that let's say the school don't have toilets or they don't have computers, they're lacking some resources. You collect the information. What happens then?
The AI platform will generate the data and then reallocate the resource to that region using the money we get from the USA customers.
That makes sense. Chenglin, that makes sense for me. Okay. Wilson, thank you. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Is there any more groups? Are there any
Nope.
more groups?
That now we're gonna nope. I think that was it. Now we're gonna go into speed round, asking questions. And so I put it in order for us to go pretty fast. So the
Yeah.
first person, so this is the Q&A speed round next. So they put a question in, and we're gonna try to take, if you could do it in 60 seconds, because you're so wise. And then we're gonna go,
Okay. Let's try.
let's see how it works. Okay, so
Yeah.
the first person, I put all the names in, so you can go by in the order that your name, and then look at the question. It's the first question that was in there.
Should I look at the
Rash-
question, or is somebody going to ask me?
Rashmika, are you gonna Rashmika's group, are you gonna ask the question? You put a question in your first.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for
So
that.
my question, I'm so sorry. My question is that looking back on your work, what is the one mistake you made early on in social entrepreneurship that changed how you approach impact today?
Okay. The first mistake that I made when I first started off my life as a social entrepreneur, I wanted to carry everybody who was affected with me. So I had too many people giving me ideas and putting them into positions of authority who could stop me at any time, or who I did not understand at that young age, like you, that people are self-centered sometimes, and they would like to make money for themselves from some of these non-profit activities. Therefore, I missed one or two projects that failed. So now what did I do? I used to keep it nimble. So we have few people who are decision makers. And then we put our brains together. We might brainstorm with 100 people, but there are 3 decision makers. Thank you. You said 60 seconds. I'm going by your.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. All right, the next person. So let's keep going in a row. Let's see how we do with this Q&A speed round. Pink Faye. Is Ping in here? Oh, yes, I see. Ping, we're waiting for your. We'll come back. Let's skip. Let's go to the next one. Yungyang. Did I pronounce that right?
Hello, Professor.
Hi.
Hello,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, uh, our group's question is, with over 4 decades of experience, how was your personal definition of meaningful impact? Uh, your personal definition of meaningful impact evolved from your early days building schools during apartheid to today's highly interconnected world.
Okay. What do I define as a truly impactful project? A truly impactful project is one that can solve a social challenge. At the same time, it can keep it financially sustainable. You do not go back to your donor for begging for more money. You are a business student. You will find a solution and keep it financially sustainable. That's impact.
Thank you. Next,
Thank
Ryan.
you.
I think it's
I'm in
Ryan.
I'm in Rashmika's group.
Oh, you are? Okay. So what? Okay, one of y'all pick one. Who's gonna? You're in Rushmore. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so let me take that. So Hanlon.
Hello. Our group's question is, in your experience building schools and advancing social entrepreneurship, how do you ensure that global partners remain truly community-centered and avoid like creating a culture of dependency?
Perfect question. Perfect question. You see, a social entrepreneur will will start a project, and once it's started, it finds capable people to run the project on locally. If it fails because of infighting, you cannot create dependence by going in from a rich country into a or rich community to a poor community and make them dependent on you. You don't want that. You will find capable, motivated people to run the project after you have left. Prof. Vitaka, I must point out 3 things. In every business, in every project, you need to identify what is your core capability. Are you an innovator? Are you an entrepreneur? Or are you an administrator? You need all 3 of these qualities to run a good project or a good business. If you're an innovator, you start something and you once it starts and it starts developing, you find an entrepreneur who will make it into a business. Then you need an administrator who will make sure that every day things are filed and things move on and it's systematically run. An innovator cannot be an administrator. You will mess it up. So, as young people, find out, are you an innovator? Are you an entrepreneur? Or are you an administrator? If you are an innovator, bring these 2 other qualities, the administration and the entrepreneur, close to you. Those are the 3 people I keep talking about. These are the 3 skills you need to make a successful project.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
hand it over. Yeah.
Thank you. Next. I'm sending y'all my chats. Please check your chat because I'm letting you know who's next. So you should have got a chat saying you were next.
Hi. Given your experience building rural schools during uh, the rural place and develop global partnerships, what advice would you give students, social entrepreneurs who want to address problems in African communities in a way that is respectful, sustainable, and locally grounded?
Yeah. All projects, all human relations, globally as well as locally, is based on trust. And it takes a lot of effort to create trust. The world is losing trust between each other. And to build that trust, you need to be consistent and you need to have clear, your partners that you work with must be extremely clear that you are not there to take advantage of them. You are not there to get them to buy your products. You are there to assist them. And trust is the basis of such projects between the so-called first world and the developing countries.
Thank
Trust,
you.
trust, trust. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Um, our group question is that based on your experience building community centers education initiatives across different countries, what do you think is the most important principle students should remember if they want to serve communities ethically and effectively?
Yeah, I go back to my previous one is trust. They must be extremely clear that you are there for altruistic purposes and you are there to assist. That's one. Then you treat the local people, the people that you choose to work with you as your partners. And then over time, there is trust that is formed. And only then can we work with each other. We know what is happening to the world today. Lack of trust creates conflict. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kyle?
Hi. How does the multiple income generation strategies approach you applied for nonprofit transformation actually help organizations to achieve financial independence?
Okay, what is the strategy? One of my companies is called multiple income generating strategies. Okay,
Yeah.
and what it does is it trains nonprofits to become financially sustainable, and it uses the strategies that I had mentioned at first. Is there you need an angel investor to start because you don't have the money, and then you need to your project, the service that you provide must be so good, it must compete with the private sector, and then you will be able to generate income from selling that product or service to the ones who can afford to pay in that community, and using the money that they pay, the ones who can afford to pay, use that to cross subsidize the ones who cannot afford to pay. That's the strategy.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Next.
Hi, Professor. I want to ask about since the teenager pregnancy is such a sensitive topic, how would you suggest creating a focus group environment where students can feel safe enough to speak honestly?
In the classroom?
No, in creating a focus group environment where students can feel safe enough.
Okay. So first of all, the facilitator, possibly you as the facilitator.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you are the facilitator. You have to be the facilitator to understand what your group needs. So the students who are listening to you or who are willing to be guided by you must be confident that you are confident. You're not only confident personally, you're confident with the knowledge that you have about the subject. Okay. And once you establish that confidence, of course, I'm not going to repeat trust, but once you establish that in a facilitator role, you need to be so confident and encouraging the ones, in any classroom, there are some students who speak and some students who don't speak. You must be very careful watching. As a lecturer, that is one of the things I do, is I look for students who are not talking at all, who don't ask questions, and I encourage them to ask questions and to express their opinion. So it is in your hands as the facilitator, Shimai. You are you're the key. Your personality is the key.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's really helpful.
Hi, Professor. Our question is, from looking back, how could we keep passion to do one project for a very long term without giving up?
Okay. As I said, you need to identify your personality's positives. If you are an innovator, you cannot stay in the project for a long time because you, like Elon Musk, you will go after the next project. You are an innovator. You're not an entrepreneur. You need to find an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to find an innovator who is finding new things and grab one of the ideas and make it into a business. Okay? That
Okay.
keeps your passion. That keeps your passion. Because if you are an innovator, but somebody puts you as an administrator, you're going to be bored to death. You're going to die on your table.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
All right, I think there's one last question, Xingling. The Savior Project question. That was a good question to close out with.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. George. So, our group project uses US customers to fund AI educational app in rural Brazil. So, how do we make sure this US Brazil partnership builds a true global citizenship instead of just looking like a savior project?
Fantastic. Fantastic. There's always something that you can learn, and there's always a business opportunity wherever in the world you go. So, in Brazil, you find your partners for the project and make sure that you work in a very open manner with them and establish, you do not, one of the dangers of going into poor communities and doing projects is that you create expectations that you cannot provide. Not with words, but people look at you and see the dollars. For example, if you are from America, they come into Africa in a poor village and they say, "You're from America." It's a dollar sign, money. So I can get some money out of it. But no, you have to, right from the beginning, establish what you're there for so that you don't raise expectations for people that you can do something beyond what you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really good. Any last questions before we give him a big round of applause for being with us today? Any last questions? Any ones that I missed? This is your time. Okay, I think that was the last good question to end with. Varkey, thank you so much for coming to speak to the class. And I know it was a lot of questions. They're trying to work through these projects because they got to submit next week, but we so appreciate you being here with us and giving them feedback. And I know it was very useful. So everybody, can we give them a clap in the virtual clap in the chat thing going and a thank you. Yes, we can put it in the chat. We can get, yeah, let's just say thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have a good night because I know it's late there. That's why I was trying to respect your time.
Oh, for me, it's a good night. Have a good afternoon, guys. Have a good
Yeah,
afternoon.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So that was next week. We have our final speaker. He was good, right? He was really good. I hope he helped you and gave you good feedback. So next week we have,